Hey guys, and welcome back to another DIY episode where today we are continuing work on our power upgrade project. So far we've already added a much larger battery to the setup, installed a higher output alternator to enable more effective charging, and today we're installing a massive solar setup right here on the rooftop tent. I'm going down a slightly different route to my last setup, as you might be able to see beside me just here. Now that 300 watts of flexible solar I had installed on that old tent honestly performed so well. I was really happy with it to the point where I was honestly so close to just doing the exact same thing for this new tent, but I'm just trying to really push the boundaries as much as I can when it comes to this new 12 volt setup, and this solution right here is honestly next level. So this huge black rectangle here is a 250 watt hard framed solar panel from iTech World, which I'm hoping is going to put in close to 15 or 16 amps of charge once it's been run through a appropriate solar regulator. However, I did promise next level, and one of those isn't quite next level enough. So behind this panel, we find a second one exactly the same, providing a combined 500 watts of solar, which is honestly insane. So I'm hoping these two panels, when they're installed on that rooftop tent in peak sun, should put in over 30 amps. Now, I did think long and hard about going for a hard frame solar solution like this compared to flexible panels, because the obvious downside is that these are a fair bit heavier at close to 10 kilos a piece, whereas I'm pretty sure the equivalent flexible panels would be close to half that weight, if not a bit less. But there were three main benefits of this system that really got me across the line. Number one is that I've heard that hard frame panels like these are a lot more efficient than flexible panels, which should hopefully translate to more power per watt. And we've got a lot of watts. Number two is that these panels can be bolted down to my roof rack system on that tent instead of being like physically stuck down to the surface of the tent. And that means if one panel gets damaged, I can easily replace it, or I can take the whole setup down if I ever want to. And number three is that I could have never fit 500 watts of flexible panels on that rooftop tent. It just wouldn't have fit properly, whereas with hard frame panels, I can fit them. So more power. Alrighty, as for the installation, as you can see, I have spun these solar panels around, and my rough plan is going to be to firstly join these two panels together so they act as one solid unit. I'll then take that one solid unit and get that bolted down to the roof racks on my rooftop tent. To join these together, I'm going to be using the existing mounting points on these solar panels. There is 4 on each of the long runs on those solar panels. I'm going to be cutting this aluminium C channel down to the length and then getting those solar panels bolted together. Just like that, my two new mounting brackets are ready to go, but you might remember me mentioning there's actually 4 rows of bolt holes on these solar panels to be used for mounting. That's because the other 2 are going to be for the roof racks themselves. When these solar panels go onto the roof racks, the remaining 2 channels are what I'm going to be using to actually bolt them to those roof racks. So I've just gone and kind of worked out roughly where I want my roof racks to sit on the rooftop tent to work out which holes they're going to correlate to. And I figured out that my mounting brackets, these joining brackets I should say, are going to be on the very back of the panels just here. This is the rear section, and the second row back from the front, just like that. To get these new brackets installed on the solar panels, essentially there's not enough room underneath here for me to get my bolts up from underneath, so they will have to drop in from the top. That's okay, I'll just get my spanner and the little nut and essentially drag that in the bottom and then drop my bolt down on top. But it gets a little bit more complicated too because these channels are so small. Probably should have bought wider channels, but I can't actually fit my sockets or spanners into that channel to do the nut up from the top either. So what I'm gonna have to do is get everything lined up and then take a flathead screwdriver, jam that in alongside the nut, and then tighten the bolt with the spanner underneath. Okay, next up is possibly the most important part, which is connecting these solar panels to my roof racks, which I've removed to make my life a bit easier. And this is going to involve making some custom hardware and using some brand new tools, which I am pretty pumped about. Now, I need to make sure I get this right, because if this system fails, these solar panels, all 20 kilos of them, could come flying off the roof while I'm doing 110 down the highway, and that could be an absolute disaster. So, needless to say, I've spent a fair bit of time planning this out, and the solar panels are going to be bolted to these roof racks in 6 different places. First up, we're going to be using the remaining mounting holes on those solar panels, ones just like that, and I'm going to make up some custom brackets that look like this, but obviously not made out of cardboard. They're going to go and line up with those mounting holes and overhang the outside of the solar panel. Then when we pop our roof racks over the top like this, we'll be able to put a bolt in from the opposite side up into that roof rack there. So the roof racks do have these mounting channels built into the ends, just like that. So I'm going to make up a threaded insert that's going to slide into that bottom channel there, and that will allow us to put a bolt in from the opposite side. Moving across to the center of the solar panels, there's 2 more mounting holes to utilize just here. So I'm going to make up a bracket that looks like this. That will bolt in place on the center like that. The roof rack will then sit across that, and on the underside of the roof rack, there is a bit of a channel in the middle, so I'm hoping the bolts that will be sitting on those 2 black dots will actually sit inside that channel and not cause that to essentially be spaced off. It should be nice and flush. Then when that's in place, I'll make a second piece that looks like this, and that will go on top. I'll then run some bolts between those holes, tighten them down, and that will essentially clamp around that roof rack. To make my custom brackets, I'm just using 3mm steel that I bought from my local hardware store, and I'm essentially just cutting it down to match those cardboard mock-ups. For the center clamping brackets, I'm actually just repurposing some random steel brackets I found at Bunnings because they were much cheaper than buying a sheet of steel. And I think some of these existing holes will actually line up with what I need, giving me a bit less work to do overall. Alrighty, most of my new brackets are now complete, and the next step is going to be pretty fun because we get to use a brand new tool. So this is called a tap wrench. And when used in conjunction with these little insert pieces here, this is hopefully going to allow me to add M6 threads to these little steel insert tabs I've made. So I've already drilled 5mm holes in the front of all 4 of these. And now I'm going to add an M6 thread to the center there. These will then slide into those roof rack channels and allow me to then thread a bolt in and do it up nice and tight. So first time using this tool, hopefully it goes to plan. Wow, that worked incredibly well, and I now have nice M6 threads in the centers of all my little insert pieces here ready to go. I reckon this tool is going to open up a lot of possibilities for projects beyond just this solar panel installation, so you'll probably see a little bit more of that tool in future. But for now, I have all my pieces ready to go. I'm going to give them a quick coat of black paint so they look a little bit neater, and then we can start bolting everything together. Alrighty, I am very happy with how this whole project is coming together. That entire frame structure there turned out really well. I'm super confident in the strength of the whole build, and those two panels are now very much unified as one solid piece. And what's cool too is like everything is just bolted together. Nothing is permanent in a sense. So if I do get damage on one of these panels, it's not too much of a task to pull the system off the roof and swap out one of these panels. So stoked about that. And the next step before we can get this bolted onto the rooftop tent is going to be to tackle the first part of the wiring. To link these panels together, I've essentially got two main options. I can connect them together in what's called parallel, which will keep our voltage the same at around 22 volts, but it's going to double our amps from around 11 amps up to close to 22 amps, requiring thicker wiring. I could also link these together in what's called series, which is going to keep our amps the same at around 11, nice and low, but it will double our voltage from 22 volts up to close to 44 volts. Either way, these panels will still be 500 watts in total. All we're really changing is how that power gets from the solar panels to our charge controller. Parallel, which is positive to positive and negative to negative, is probably the most common choice when it comes to installations like these, mainly because the solar input on most DC-DC chargers can't handle the higher voltage. And mine can't either, which is why it might sound a little bit strange that I'm actually going to be linking mine together in series instead, which involves linking the positive from one panel to the negative of the other, then taking the remaining positive and negative cables and running those into my charge controller. But don't worry, everything will make sense in time. I'm also going to be installing a waterproof 15 amp MC4 fuse into the solar setup as well, because when the sun hits these panels, they essentially act as a large battery source and therefore need to be protected. With the panels now connected together in series and my fuse installed, I now just need to extend the wiring so it can reach my canopy. Moving inside the canopy setup now, there's one last part left to install, which is a dedicated solar charge controller. So this is my new 40 amp MPPT solar charge controller from iTech World, and its job is going to be using those new solar panels to charge the batteries. Now, even if my DC-DC charger could handle 44 volts, I'd still be installing a separate charge controller like this, because when you do run permanent solar through a DC-DC charger using the solar input, just like I did for the first couple of months of our Big Lap series, it's essentially going to choose one or the other depending on what you've set the priorities to. Whereas with a separate charge controller, if I'm driving down the road, the alternator can be charging the battery through this DC-DC charger, and we can also be getting a completely separate stream of charge from the roof solar panels through this separate charge controller. So I'm going to get this installed up on my headboard, and it does fit perfectly in there next to the existing 12 volt system. I'll take care of all the wiring down the bottom there, and then we can give it its first test run. The next wiring job is just to make up a new solar input that will be installed on the canopy headboard and connect it to the new solar regulator. I decided to go with a dual Anderson input here so that if I want to run a separate solar blanket as well as the roof panels, then I've got a spot to plug it in so long as it's the same voltage. With the wiring between my roof solar input and the new charge controller done, the last job in the canopy here is connecting the charge controller to my battery. To do this, I'm just connecting it to one of the existing fused Anderson plugs on my control hub here, because this gives me the ability to easily disconnect it if necessary, and it's already wired through my shunt for monitoring. Before finishing off the last bit of the wiring, I'm just covering all the panels up so that no sunlight touches them. This step is really important because when these panels are in the sun, there's up to 500 watts traveling through the wires that I'm just about to be working on, so don't skip this step. And lucky last job is just to add an Anderson plug to the new solar setup, plug it in, and we're done. Well, as you might be able to tell, a couple of weeks have now passed since those solar panels went on, and I'm just wrapping up a trip where these solar panels were used pretty much every single day on my travels. In general, I am really happy with how this whole project has come together. That mounting system has proven to be extremely secure. I've just done a week's worth of pretty insane corrugations and they haven't moved a millimeter, which is fantastic. They are obviously quite massive up on that rooftop tent, which was always going to be the case with a 500 watt setup, but in general, I'm pretty happy with the overall appearance. If I was going to tackle this project again, I might consider making some custom brackets to actually allow those panels to sit down flush on that rooftop tent, but I'm also not 100% sure how that would look because they would overhang the edges by about a centimeter, which could look strange, whereas as they are right now, spaced up on those roof racks, you can't really tell. In terms of performance, these panels have honestly been insane. So I've been induction cooking every day, air frying, just using as much power as I possibly can. And the panels have my batteries back up to full every single day by around 10:30 in the morning, to the point where I haven't actually been able to test their true maximum performance because by the time the sun gets to that peak position in the middle of the sky, my batteries are already at 100%. What I have been able to test though is first thing in the morning around 9 or 9:30, the panels are already generating around 18 or 19 amps of charge. So I'm thinking peak sun position, middle of the sky, we should be seeing above 30 amps. But once I know for sure, I'll pin a comment down below. One thing I will just mention if you're planning on adding solar panels or any sort of weight to your rooftop tent is just be conscious of how much extra weight you're adding because those gas struts that your tent comes with are only really designed for your factory tent. So I had to have mine re-gassed. They're originally 380 Newton each side, but with the extra 20 kilos worth of solar panels on top now, I had those re-gassed to 550 Newton each side to withstand that extra weight. And that brings this installation to an end. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for this whole trip series coming out soon, and I'll catch you in the next one.